Krishna Govinda Hare Murare, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Om Mukhaṁ Karoti Vācālam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Swarge Satye Cha Kailase Vaikunthe Naste Amrasaha Atah Pibandhu Sadbhagyaha Mama Munjada Garhijada Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam Ekadasha Skandha मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथारूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ द्वाविंशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच Salutations to the Lord and all Gurus of Bhagavat Mahapurana and in general, and also to the entire avatars in Bhagavata Puranam. We as the Jivas, Samsari, Sadhaka, while conducting our life of Dharma, while struggling in this world according to the timings, the yuga, we have to pursue our whatever possible, little by little, the adhyatmika sadhana also. In that, till we reach to the final definite sadhana, which reveals in our heart, which gets revealed in our heart by the Guru Krupa and Ishvara Krupa, till that time. Whatever is possible, little by little, all things we should know, and among the things which are known, whatever little possible, we should keep on doing. As regard the external lives, sadhanas are concerned, the charities, the helps to others, the service to others, this is also part of sadhana. As regard the personal sadhanas are concerned, in spite of whatever negativity is there around in the world around right now, yet at least a few values we practice. At least little of devotion we must have for the Lord, developed little by little through some or the other, the devotional path practices. Little of those things by which the Sharira, Indriya, Mana are purified as well as niyantrita. It may be possible through some pranayamas, some yoga. They also can be added. Then that which gives direction to all these, called as listening to Shastra and Vedanta, also must be there, which indicates to us the ultimate goal to be reached. And in that bhava, that as a jiva, along with conducting in this world, I have to do my sadhana also to reach to the Lord. This is my capacity in this life. This much I do. Add little japa, add little stotra vatnam. Once in a while, little of the contemplation on the self or the truth. Little by little, life by life, we have to keep on adding and keep growing. What is more important is, most important, don't lose sight of the ultimate goal. And don't lose sight of the identity that mainly I am a sadhaka who is now as a jiva going through all limitations which are very clear to me. Now, slowly from all these limitations, I am trying to get out through all these sadhanas. That awareness. The goal is Paramatma. Now I am as a jiva, I am bound in all these things which I am experiencing. We can't be illusory about these things. We are experiencing the Deha Samasyas with Deha Tadatmya. We can't reject it just like that. We are experiencing the Mana Samasyas with all the Rajoguna, Tamoguna of the Mana with all its Vikara. Is it not? We are experiencing the non-clarity about the knowledge at our intellect level. So we must know where do we stand. First we must know. Then only when we do sadhana, we can be aware that we are doing sadhana. And awarefully we can do. And sadhana is done with awareness only. What is awareness? I have durgunas now, I have to get sadgunas. I am following adharma now, I must follow dharma. I am in the ajnana now, I have to gain the jnanam. I am with lot of ego now, I have to surrender. You understand? When I know my position, first of all, and accept it, there's nothing wrong. Everybody grows in that way only. Everybody's starting point is almost like that. And sticking to those basics, living at the ground level, little by little, while doing sadhana, we have to ensure. Not at all doing any sadhana also is wrong. By doing little sadhana, feeling arrogance that I am doing so much, I am great, is also wrong. Just because we studied Vedanta, which says I am Brahman, thinking that I am Brahman, without any of conquering the three dehas or three gunas or the three avasthas, just by imagining, that is also wrong. And in a hallucination, saying that some guru will come, some Bhagavan will come and help me, without invoking Bhagavan and Guru, you know, thinking that that will happen, these are all hallucinations, these are all notions. They take us nowhere. I am Jiva, I am Baddha with Upadhis in this way. Pakka. Everybody knows what they are. What is there to hide? Then, luckily, with Satsanga, we know what is goal. Then, whatever our capacity, we keep doing. Once in a while, look at the gurus, look at the masters, get guidance, get blessings, get inspiration from them. Inspiration is when we look at their very noble life. Guidance is when we say seek them, we ask them, please tell exactly what sadhana to do. Inspiration is when they are kept in our heart all the time. So the guidance, inspiration, blessings, when we get from them. Blessings are what? Inspiration is when you look up to them. Guidance is when we ask questions. The blessings is what? When they are always felt in the heart. When we believe in their goodness, where their love, their concern for us. To at that level, when we tune to them, their blessings will come. With that, keep on moving. And be clear, mana, what is sthiti of it? Chanchala, how to make nischala. In this way, there should not be any ambiguity. Like any worker, any carpenter, anybody, he knows what exactly is there, what is to be done, and what he is doing. A driver, he knows what exactly he is to go to destination, what is the road looking like, what is the vehicle's position, and his own position in the vehicle, and he is driving. Any non-awareness of any aspect leads to accident. So too, carpentry work, anywhere is doing it wrong, then the whole thing may get broken or he may get injured. Same way in spirituality also, it will be very clear about our upadhis, their position, where to reach and how to reach and what is the present sadhana. Like for me, in this life, sadhana is studying shastras, talking to whoever listen and becoming more very thorough about the laksha and marga. Along with that, invoking little more kripa, Bhagavan and Guru. Along with that, through vicharana and contemplation, trying to implement whatever is understood. This हम इतना हम इस जन्म में करेंगे, पक्का हो गया. अब करो, then आगे की रोशनी खुद ही दिखाई देगी. Never be in vagueness regarding what to do, where to reach, and where do we stand. And never be in any hallucination that we have done and we have reached or it will happen by itself. कुछ भी अपने आप नहीं होता, हमको करना है मतलब हमें जानना है कि कहाँ है और वहां से क्या करना है वो करना है. Yeah. Now in this 22nd chapter, Uddhava Sri Krishna Samvad. In this, Bhagavan Krishna is asked by Uddhavji. Bhagavan is giving a beautiful answers regarding the entire creation, etc. Very sublime topic they are, but उसको बार बार सुनने से थोड़ा थोड़ा सा clarity आएगा. Especially the portion under discussion is very complete, very clear, very deep it is. So yesterday we have seen कि Uddhavji was asking Bhagavan, Yosau Gunaksh, we'll do from 32 straight away. Yosau Gunakshobha Krutaha Vikaraha प्रधानमूलात् महतः प्रसूतः अहं त्रिवृत् मोहविकल्पहेतुः वैकारिकः तामसः ऐन्द्रियः च. लिसन वर्ड्स केयरफुली. हमें मोहित करके हमारे सामने विकल्प रखने वाला, और having deluded us, keeping in front of us the vikalpas, varieties, or by putting the variety in front of us, deluding us. Deluding means what? Missing the essence or truth or reality. He is acting this ahankara samashti. Okay. Om Shri Guru Rakshamam Pahimam 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 Pahi 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 Amma. So the main sentence in 32 verses, Aham Trivrit Mano Moha Vikalpa Hetuhu. By the Moha, it creates Vikalpa and makes us believe in the Vikalpa as true. These Aham Trivrut. What is Trivrut Aham? Vaikarikaha Tamasaha Indriyaha. These all like the snake on the rope, like the movie on the screen, like the dream world in the dream, made appear. Like one or the other directors, they make everything appear. The producers, they bring out the movie, they make us it appear, make it appear for us. So too, the Indra Jalika, the Jadugar makes it appear for us. So too, this Trivrut Ahankara is the one who is expressing as three types of Ahankara. From that, these three things are coming. The Dehas, then the Antakarana and Indriyas, and the Adhisthana Devatas in them. In that, you and I as Jiva caught up taking them as true and real. And at that level, it is true also. Then a little deeper thought, I'll not share all that. Itna batate hain कि there also, if you follow the rules and principles, then we are not bound by it there. Like we said, Deha. Follow the rules of Deha, accept the limitations of Deha. It won't trouble us more. So to follow the rules of Antakarana as well as Indriyas. Don't exceed the limits. Then that also doesn't become a liability. So too the Adhisthana Devatas, just do Namaskar worship to them. They will protect us. They will bless us. Then the Indriyas, Antakarana, Deha will function properly. At least the Vyavahara life will be good if you follow the rules there. From the Vyavahara life, Zara Hatke, when we want to do spiritual understanding and sadhana, now this discussion comes into picture, where all these are expressions of the Trivurudahankara. Not so real they are. And these are all expression of Trivurudahankara. Then they can be dissolved in their karana, slowly that karana in the that karana, etc. This knowledge come to us, this conviction comes to us, this practice we do to reach the Lord only when we at the Dehendriya Manadi level have lived a disciplined, purified life. Therefore, all boils to one. Unless we live a disciplined life outside, purified life of our own equipments inside, then this knowledge won't come to us. That won't even become effective to evolve us from the jiva to the sadhaka through sadhana to the siddhi of discovering the truth behind. Truth behind me, the jiva, the jagat in front, and the Paramatma or the Ishvara. Okay. So again I'm explaining aham trivurut aham moha vikalpa hetuhu. That trivurut aham, what are the three things in that? Vaikarika, tamasa, indriyaha. Now where from this aham came? Moolat, pradhana moolat mahatah prasutaha. It is prasuta from mahat tattva. Where from the mahat came? Pradhana moolat. Okay. Mahat came from the Pradhana. Pradhana in its three gunas balanced from All these lower things which we said now as Mahat Tattva, then Ahankara and its three expressions, then from that the Indriyas, Antakarana, the Dehas, means Dev बनने के लिए Pancha Mahabhut and the Devatas, they are not there in that. Only when the Ishvara Sankalpa, the Kala does the Kshobhanam in the Sama Sthiti Prakriti, then the prakriti के तीन गुण जब imbalance होते हैं, then from that only the prakriti in the next level gets modified into mahata, that in the next level becomes ahankara. From that ahankara, these three types of ahankara, these three types of ahankara are creating those which we are seeing now. What do we see? I am seeing my deha, your deha, that deha, so many dehas. So too, I am saying my indriyas, your indriyas, everybody have indriyas, whether we see or not. So too, I have my antakarana, you also have antakarana. Then these are all, we know, stula matter, sukshma matter, they can't work by themselves. So we have to assume the presence of some divine powers behind. They are called as devata. This is what the entire world is. At least the deha is perceivable, the indriyas are acceptable because they are seeing. The man also we can feel it. Then only the adhisthana devatas, we can't see them but we can believe them. These Adhisthana Devatas, behind every Upadhis are there, Shastra tells us. And in the Yoga Sadhana, those Adhisthana Devatas, we can meet with them, we can talk to them, we can pray to them with their blessings. Whatever the Indriya for which they are Adhisthana Devata, that can be even rectified or beautified or strengthened or purified. But you have to do that type of Yoga Sadhana in which Bhakti also is very important. They will bless us. वहां तक हो गया. So what is seen and what is said here we have matched up. So all of them are coming from these three type of aham aham ahamkaras. Satvik ahankara leading to devatas expression. Rajasic ahankara is causing all the jnanendriya karmendriya antakarana. Listen carefully. Tamasic ahankara is the cause of all stula dehas. Stula dehas came from Stula Panchamahabhuta. Stula Panchamahabhuta came from the Panchikarana of the Sukshma Tanmatras. So, from the Tamasic Ahankara, what comes are the Pancha Tanmatra. Those Tanmatras express as Sukshma Mahabhuta. Those Sukshma Mahabhutas, through intermixture, they become Sthula Mahabhuta. At the Sukshma Tanmatra level, they are pure. In Vayu, only Vayu is there. In Agni, Agni. In Jala, Jala, ityadi. During the Panchikaranam, in each of them, half of it remains. Other half is 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8 of the other four. 1, 12 and half, 1, 12 and half, 1, 12 and half, 12. So 14, 12 for 48 and halves for 50. 50 like Agni. Agni में 50 Agni है. Remaining 50 is 12 and half of Baki 4. This is how the Panchikruta Panchamahabhutas made. From that, the entire Dehas are brought together. The mixture of all of them make all the Dehas. Stula Deha. Then all the Anna Padarthas required, all also are made from those Panchamahabhutas only. They are all Stula. So Stula Panchamahabhuta made Deha. To maintain it, Stula Panchamahabhuta made Bhojana only works. Yeah. Now comes here Uparka line. We have seen Yaha Asau Gunakshobha Krutaha Vikaraha. Gunas are in balance. There's only avyakta, no becoming into the form of subtle nor into the grass. In the guna, when the kshobha happens, because of kala, immediately the pradhana comes. Pradhana expresses as a mahatattva from the three gunas, tribut ahankara and tribut of the ahankara. From that come all these things. So that's what is said in this shloka. So, yoha asau guna kshobha krutaha, in the brackets, kalena, vikaraha, pradhana mulatu. Through the pradhana as a mula, mahat comes, prasutaha. From the mahat, aham trivrutu. That trivrutu aham is vaikarika tamasa indriyaha. That is the karana for vikalpa hetuhu. The variety of millions of names and forms, they are called vikalpa. That is the hetu. This is how the Srishti came. Now, what about Atma? Paramatma is in and through all of them, untouched by all of them. And we are caught up in them. And the one who caught up in them is called samsari or jiva. That the jiva first has to recognize that he is caught up in them as a jiva and became samsari by involving in through ragadvesha. Then from all the drama he'll have to withdraw. Only three identities should be there in him. One, I am jiva; second, I am sadhaka; third, through sadhana I have to reach to my essential self. My sadhana is what then? Understanding all this that is happening and merging the gross in the subtler, that is one way, or withdrawing from that, that is second way, being sakshi for that, third way. In each of the sadhana, each paddhati is told. But the ultimate result is what? All these upadhis which are making me as jiva are transcended by transcending one way or the other all these phenomena, the vikaras which are there. What are the vikara? The deha, the indriya, the अंतःकरण. समझ गए ना? ये सारे विकार मुझे जीव पकड़ के रख रहे हैं. When I withdraw from all of them, I am no more jiva. So the bhaktas do it by surrender. The yogis do by vritti nirodha ityadi laya prakriya. In the yoga itself there are 10 types. Each one does in different way. कोई चक्र भेदन करते हैं, कोई कुंडली राइज कराते हैं. They are all paddhatis brought by each other. In Vedanta, we do the Vicharana Marga, in which Drukdusya Viveka or Atma Anatma Viveka. And each are complementary. Without the goal indicated by Vedanta, all other yogas, etc., do get greatest powers, even like Siddhis, but the ultimate thing they won't miss. They will miss. So to the Vedantin, he has understood Advaita Tattva, but before he embarks on the final detachment from Anatma, unless he makes use of the sadhanas of bhakti, Ashtanga yoga, and all of them, he will not be able to not only do it, but he'll be in a hallucination, like you and I are now there. From 2 years, we are doing all study of Vedanta, but reach nowhere. See, the Vedanta makes us keep on thinking, keep on understanding. But thinking, understanding is not experience, please. Is it not? Thinking and understanding should be supported by doing of all sadhanas. Like when the thinking tells me, understanding tells me that I am the Sakshi of Deha. But you never did it. Unless you sit and develop this Sakshi Bhava, what Vedanta taught will not be experienced, no? If I say that I am a Sakshi by all logic, but is it giving me the Anubhava? देखो ध्यान से. By knowing that I am Sakshi is not experience that I am Sakshi. We have to do it. Is it not? That doing, if Vedanti doesn't do, na, he'll become a philosopher. Nowhere he reaches, even though he studies all Shastras hundreds of years. That's why in this modern time, Guru Bhagavan Krishna's Bhagavad Gita, in which all are taught. Serving the world is taught, fulfilling the dharma is taught, following the values is taught, doing all duties as Karma Yoga is taught, the Bhakti is taught, the Ashtanga Yoga also taught in that Vedanta way. Let us that way grow in all aspects. Let not grow in one hand full of energy, other is polio. ऐसा नहीं करना है. सारे अंग लिंब हमें ग्रो करना है. Let it take time. That's why we are doing one Purana, we are doing one Itihasa, we are doing one Vedanta Grantha, one Bhakti Grantha, we are doing one values like Vidurnita. These are all only theory. But at least theory we have started, but never any time any theory helped anybody. We have to take our life into our hands as charge. We have to start doing the sadhanas. Then only the experiences will happen. This means there is no compromise in this. Okay, friends. Now, after this, Atma Parijnanamaya. The self is what then in and through all that? The pure consciousness. Eternally. Him I am not experiencing because all these things I am caught up in. About this self, with their intellects, people are trying to discuss in so many ways. In what way? Asti nasti iti bhida arthanishtaha. They're all established in Veda of asti and nasti as a concept, just like we studied in our Mandukya Upanishad, the four groups of people. Then Vyartaha, that never leads them. Remember, Bhagavan ka asti hai, nasti hai. Whatever concept you make, neither the concept makes us reach reality, nor it sorts out the problem of samsara. By making concept, nothing happens. Therefore, vyartha api na eva uparameta pumsa. For the beings, never this discussion ends, even though it is of no use. Like our Vedanta classes, never end, even though they are no use, unless we practice. And why don't we practice? This is a very crucial thing. Bhagavan says, Mattaha paravruta dhiyam swalokat. Okay, Mattaha paravruta dhiya means what? We have knowledge of the scriptures about the Atma Vastu, but do we have the desire to experience that Atma Vastu? And then how intense is that desire? How continuous is that desire? Are you getting the point? See, I have knowledge of one place, but unless I have a desire to reach and see that place, will that knowledge is of any help? No, in the same way, only knowledge we have about the Shastra, through the Shastra about Tattva. But if you don't have the desire in us for the self, we don't do that sadhana. Then all the knowledge of no use, no? That is meaning of matta paravruta dhiya. And what is happening? Their buddhi is still seeking something other than me. Their buddhi is seeking still something other than me through the Dehendriya Mana, something of the world of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha for the bhoga as enjoyment. So that purity, that Viveka Vairagya has come in him. And yet he is using his intellect to study Shastra. That Shastra Jnanam is helping to make a concepts in him. He is staying only at the concept level, but never liberated from the bondage because he is not desiring to know the self. That's why we talk every third, fourth day about Shubhecha. All these our Vivekas, Vairagya study, if they don't lead to the Shubhecha and Mumukshata, they go together. Mumukshata is negative, Shubhecha is positive. What is the negative aspect of Shubhecha? Sir, Mumukshata, I want to get rid of all limitations. Because the limitations are binding me, so I am feeling the bandhanam. I want to get moksha, therefore I want to get liberated from all bandhana. Positive is what? The Shubhecha's positivity. Shubha Icha, the self is infinite, self is blissful, self is Ananda Swarupa. There is no bondage in it. I want to seek it. This positive feeling is Shubhecha. They are complementary. They are two sides of same coin. The mumukshata from limitations, the shubhecha to become unlimited self. If these two are not intense in us, we only get satisfied in making the concepts in our intellect about the Paramatma through all the study, all listening, all other understanding. Only concept बना के रखते हैं. And this is of no use, but they don't leave it. And what do they do? Interesting, but whenever a person comes to listen or argue, that time they bring out all the knowledge which they have to discuss with them, argue with them, prove our supremacy that I know more than you. But other than that, he himself is not in sadhana of reaching what he is. But unfortunately, in spirituality, focusing myself on the knowledge gained about the self to reach myself alone liberates me, unlike other medicines. Like if I know medicine, I need not treat myself if I am not a patient. Is it not? All the objective sciences are dealing with the objects. Physics, chemistry, deal with the physical things. So such person need not apply all of them on himself. A lawyer need not apply his law on himself. He is not having any case. But spirituality ऐसा नहीं है. It's not sufficient, satisfactory, sufficient if it is intellectually made as concept. It has to be applied only on ourselves. Only. Not even others. Some acharyas, gurus, they teach us because the Lord has selected them. Even they also. If they don't seek what they are teaching, then they are only the Shastra teaching Acharyas. They are Shastra Acharya. That's it. They are not Anubhavagnya Acharyas. Then. Is it? And such Acharyas lectures also are only up to that level satisfactory, entertaining to us. They don't inspire us to seek the true self inside. So in this shloka, that's the meaning. Atma kya hai? Parijnanamaya. So instead of focusing on pure conscious self, remember to focus on pure conscious self in me. First of all, I have to know before that stage that I am conscious self, I have to come to the Sakshi Bhava. Before coming Sakshi Bhava, I have to come to the Drashta Bhava. Before Drashta Bhava, I must understand about the illusory aspects and limitations of all these three avasthas. If I take all the three avasthas as real, and in that I am enjoying the of the nidra, maja of the dream, maja of the waking planes, all money or bhoga, I will never try to come away from them. They look so good without finding their limitations, that they are jada, they are nashwara, the sukha is not in them, etc. We will not come to the first point of being a trashta to them, second point of being a sakshi to them. Then only the sakshi is discovered to be what is said here as Atma Parijnanamayaha, is pure conscious self. This in morning Upanishad class, the language used by Karikakara is Adi Buddhaha Prakrutyaiva Adishanta hi Anutpannaha. Those words of Karikakara, and these are same. And they say Karikakara Gaudapada is direct disciple of Shukadevji. Some places they say how it, I don't know all that. Anyway, in this way, Matta Paravruta Dhyam Swalokat. So, those whose intellects, because of still enjoying the world, have not focused on me, who is there in their own self, who is Atma, who is Parijnanamaya. So, Salokat, Parijnanamaya, Atma, Mattaha. These four are synonyms. Because their attention is taken away from me, who is their own self, which is his own inner experience, whose nature is parajnanamaya, pure consciousness. Because their intellect is not attending to them. Why not attending? As we said, still they have some wants or something to fulfill in the world. Now, it is said not only to initial seekers who are in samsara, somebody might have studied Shastra for thousands of lives. Everything he is doing as said in Shastra, yet if the desire for him is not for Paramatma, he will never reach Paramatma. This is what we have to learn from these two famous examples of Nachiketa as Prahlada. One is in Jnana Marga, other is in Bhakti Marga. Other than Bhagavan, they did not seek. That is the meaning of Yameva Esha Vrunute. That's one of the very crucial thing in spirituality is the desire to know the self. If that is there, it brings everything. If the desire is not there, then nothing will come to us of spiritual unfoldment. That's why all the time we have to intensify it through personal, through prayer to the Lord, through study of Shastra, through the guidance of the Gurus, etc., through our own Vicharana. We have to ensure that our desire for knowing our own self, experience our own self, or the Tattva or Atma or Brahma, whatever you say, is intensified day by day. That's not there so much. Therefore, our sitting for meditations or our other sadhanas are not at all happening. Then what are we doing every whole day? We are only indulging in the world. What it means? Because we have desire even for that only. Is it not? I have desire for nidra. Therefore, I sleep for 8 hours, 10 hours. I have desire for TV. So 5 hours I see. I desire for cell phone. I spend 4 hours for that. हो गया खत्म. अब 4-5 घंटे है. I desire for some eating, drinking. हो गया उसमें. Then imagine how can one do this? No, time remaining 24 घंटे same. One is this way fully indulging in samsara. Other is in a cave fully indulging in his own adhyatmic sadhana. Time being same for both. Equipments being same for both. How one is doing that? How one is doing this? Because his desire is for that and this person's desire is this. Basic is that. then all the Shastra Adhyanam should intensify in us in our this desire for Paramatma. याद रखना इस बात को. Any guru, any shastra, any satsanga, if is not intensifying our desire for Paramatma, we are wasting our time there. And when the desire is not strong for Paramatma, even Paramatma comes and wants to give us mukti, we tell him, हमको ये नहीं चाहिए, दुनिया दे दो. If the desire is intense in us, nobody need tell us. Like if your desire to attend class is very intense, I don't need to even message you. If it's not there, 100 messages I send you, you just neglect. You will not come. That's it. It is as simple as that. Rama, Om. It is as simple as that. Now, these are so simple looking real facts which we neglect so much on the pretext that they are simple. I want to know some complicated things. Sadhana is very simple. Understanding is very simple. We are complicated. We want to make it complicated. समझ में आ रहा है श्लोक इस तरह से. सो आत्मा परिज्ञानमय. अबाउट दिस अस्ति नास्ति विवाद इज गोइंग ऑन, and this vivada is eternally going on between people even though it is fetching nothing. And why they are not knowing the Paramatma nor giving up this vada vivada? Because mattah paravrta dhyam swalokatu. See, in them, remember, the spirituality is not going away, the worldliness is not going away. Which spirituality they are involving in? Only in making concepts about the self as the asti or nasti. वहीं तक ही रुक रहा है. Like ours, every day come to class, do some slokas, go ahead. Some satisfaction to intellect. So what? It will not give any Atma Jnanam. Unless I desire for it, I work for it. Is it not? That thing, that is the golden day where we understand the need of experiencing Paramatma and we intensely desire for it and really start sacrificing the things which are contrary to this and start doing that sadhana. And what is here? Atma kya hai fir? Parigyanamaya. In the first line only, what is the nature of self is said and how that nature of self has to be experienced as. It is pure jnana. Therefore, I am the pure conscious self. Other than me, there is no thing. This alone, always, everywhere there. This experience is liberation. This experience is bliss. Clear? That I have to aim at. This is not as easy as said. When I say word that like that the sentence, we all feel like हाँ कुछ समझ में आ रहे हैं क्योंकि दिन भर वही बोल रहे हैं. But listening to that and conceptualizing that is different from transcending all the jadata and reaching to that Chaitanya Atma. It's a struggle of millions and millions of lives. I'm telling you. Bahujanma, millions I'm using word deliberately. Because when we start sadhana, then we will see how many difficulties en route are there. Imposed by our own inner personality. Then the difficulties from the total, the samishti. How you may try to, like अब बस में ना कभी बीच में फंस जाते हैं. हम बचपन में इतने बार हुआ हो. बीच में फंस गए, आपको उतरने का टाइम हुआ, बट वी आर सो caught up in the crowd, you could not get down. Your station has come, you have taken ticket only for that, but you are in that bus. समष्टि में ऐसे है that though you desire or desire to get down, still your desire and desirability won't allow you to get down because you are part of the total bus. देखो, you can't avoid the how much you talk about I, my own prarabdha. Remember, I am not alone in this world. My prarabdha and affecting others, others is affecting me. We are in total system. That's why the entire total system, unless gives permission to us, we can't realize. Then the total to give permission seeks so much from us. Even though personally we have conquered all our upadhis, we have given up all the personal desires. Totally, you became 100% pakka sannyas, and yet you have a lot of things to clear as debts for the total. Sometimes there may not be debts at all to clear. Still, they expect from us something, the totality. Unless you do all that, the permission is not given. That's why it takes so many lives. I just gave an idea for making you understand why that sentence was made, statement was made. So simple thing is those who are only at the concept level, never focusing on their own self, which is Parignana Swarupa, they're only caught up at the concept level and they never come out of samsara. And for them, growth in spirituality is only an illusion. That's the meaning. Atma Parignanamayaha Vivadahi Asti Nastiti Vida Arthanishta Partopi Naiva Uparameta Pumsam Mattaha Paravruta Dhyam Salokat. Now, in this, there is one beautiful thing we can understand is, therefore, when we are having devotion to the Lord, in that devotion, when we ask Him, "O Lord, make me not Paravruta, but make me Avrutta and turned towards you." Take the help of that devotion and pray to the Lord. May I have desire to know you, see you, reach you, experience you, surrender to you. In this way, when you use that most beautiful and helpful aspect of bhakti and pray, then see, remember that God is nowhere, it is in me only. The Narayana, Shiva, Rama, whom I am praying. And He is in me as my own self. And how He functions when I this way extend my sankalpas in the form of prayer, telling the Lord, please intensify my desire to know you, etc. It, it does a miracle of withdrawing me from the desires of the ungodly things. And at the same time, remember, as long as I am Jiva, so long there is Ishvara. His help is must, it should be sought also with full faith, and the help comes. Hmm? Clear? नो सेंटेंस शुड बी मिसअंडरस्टूड एंड सब मिलकर समझना ही शास्त्र को समझना है. So the two aspects. You are neither a devotee nor having a desire for Paramatma. You are spiritual. You only are struggling at the concept level and fighting with each other. And you are never giving up samsara because your desire for samsara is not ended. Such people are only pseudo spiritual. They are stagnant. Other aspect is kind opposite. You are a devotee of Lord. You have desire for Paramatma. You are not making concept of Paramatma. You are meditating on Paramatma inside you because you already got the idea that Atma is Parignanamayaha. The desire to discover myself as that Parignanamaya Atma so intense that you are throughout the avastha of Jagrat, you are aware of yourself only, not anything that is happening in Jagat. Because I want to discover it, I have to enter into that, I have to be identified with that. I have nothing to do with this world which is being illumined by the Paramatma. परमात्मा से चेतित जगत से मेरा कोई संबंध नहीं है. वो परमात्मा जिनकी चेतना में जगत है, मुझे उसको पकड़ना है, whom I have to experience. Such person throughout the day is in meditation. Is it not? When he has to be in the world, he is open-eyed meditation is doing. Work is quickly finished, he closes the eyes and in the mind to the entire world, he becomes witness. He will not enter into Nidra or Swapna, not a self-imaginary world. Naturally coming out thoughts that are there, to that is becoming Sakshi. It goes on. Jitna andar ka vasala hai vasana, we don't know that how long we have to continuously do the Sakshi Bhava for them to subside. After that, the realization happens. But to reduce all this, along with Sakshi Bhava, you can take the help of yoga by Vritti Nirodha. You can take the help of the Bhagavan by praying to him, Mere man ko shant banao. My Sakshi Bhava, my stopping the extrovertedness, my prayer to the Lord to help me, and also the Vritti Nirodha Yoga, they all quieten the thoughts. So then, when the quietening of thoughts is done, the Sakshi is perfect. Then the Sakshi can focus on his own self. What is my nature? Then it is Parijnana Mayaha. Pure consciousness. Pari means at all places. Jnana is consciousness. Maya means only that, nothing other than it. That is a self. So that is me I have to experience. Atma Parijnanamaya विवादः ही अस्ति आत्मपरिज्ञानम इज कंप्लीट सेंटेंस. विवादः अस्ति नास्ति इति भिदा अर्थनिष्ठः. परमात्मा है ही नहीं है, इस ओनली विवाह नॉट विवाह. आजकल बहुत विवाह हो रहे हैं, 40,000 शादियां हुई अगले 4 दिन में पूरे इंडिया में. सो अस्ति नास्ति इति भिदा अर्थनिष्ठः व्यर्थोपि नैव परमेत पुंसा. So here an advice is given. Withdraw yourself from the useless and waste vivada regarding Paramatma hai ya nahi hai. Don't fall into the group of people who would sit for hours together and chit chat and argue and fight. You focus with the desire to know me in your own self. One alambana is given to you, that the self in me, which is my own self and yourself, is parijnana mayaha. So don't stop till you reach that. Every word is important. Pari means all around. Jnana is consciousness. Maya means that alone. There's no other thing other than that. Till you reach that experience, keep on with the desire to reach that, keep on meditating. So don't get caught up in the व्यर्थ विवाद ऑफ भगवान है कि नहीं है. देखो भगवान है या नहीं है, इस डिसीजन से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. हमको उस भगवान को पाने से हमको फॉलो होगा. Concepts never end, whether to become doctor or lawyer. You discussed or engineer and we argued and said this is good, that's good. Finally, you have defeated others that therefore it is best to become politician because you can control all. That decision never helps you. What helps you is after deciding, you do your variety of aspects to become the politician or whatever. But then you have to have the desire to be so. And intellectually getting convinced need not make desire. Desire you have to develop. And desire is there if for something else, like the world too deeply, you cannot have desire for it. Then such person, even though people find him to be qualified and give them the post of MLMP, but because his desires are for the world, through that power, he will do that job only of fulfilling desire, not serving the world. देखो कितना इंट्रिकेट है, जब हम विचार करने लगते हैं समझने वाले बातें. And understanding all this is called maturity. Then this maturity is like cementing the wall, painting the wall. Only put the bricks, जो हवा आ गया धक्का लगा गिर जाता है बिल्डिंग. It has to be cemented properly, then cured with watering and then all that. Everywhere so. स्टिचेस करके फिर कैसे पट्टी वगैरह लगाते हैं for it to get healed. So too these are the important things. Okay. So Uddhava Uvacha. Now question. Tattah paravruttadiyah swakrutaihi karmabhihi prabho uchavachan yatha dehan grunhanti visrujanti cha. So the statement of fact which is accepted by entire Sanatana Dharma philosophy about Punarjanma. Other religions, they don't accept much of it. They are different things. Amara pakka. So, tattaha paravruta dhiyaha. So, this is the question of Uddhava in continuation of what Bhagavan said, mattaha paravruta dhiyaha. So, those whose intellects are not desiring you, but something other than you, they are desiring of the world, obviously. Tattaha paravruta dhiyaha. Swakrutaihi karmabhihi. With whatever the desires, they do whatever the karma, ucha avachan yatha dhyan grunanti. And then visriyanti. Then the higher worlds or the lower worlds, and higher dehas or lower dehas, he goes on receiving, dropping them according to his own actions done. So this much so everybody knows. So if I do lot of punya karma, I get Devaloka and all. In the Manusha Loka also very rich person and all. More papa has there, I go to Naraka. In the Manusha Loka only, I'll be born as polio, leprosy and all that. Or any of the financial service. कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे. नहीं तो पशु पक्षी योनि में आते. This much is statement of fact. Now, how is it happening? How the jiva is doing all this and getting into different janma marana? Clearly tell me, which includes then how to get rid of also. Uddhava's prashna. He says, Tat mama akyahi Govinda. Hey Govinda, please explain to me that. Why? Durvibhavyam anatmavihi. Those who are identified with Dehendriya Upadhi and extroverted. No, for that those people, you and I also are in this category. The understanding this concept is not at all clear. And when we try by ourselves, Tavya Samanyada, a great Jnani Yogi Guru like you alone can tell us. Precisely you tell us. The Jiva Bhava, identifying the Upadhi, then getting the desire, then fulfilling desire, you get a plan, then he'll do the work. ये थोड़ा हमको ना पक्का बताओ क्योंकि हमको दिमाग सड़ा हुआ है. We are not able to easily understand. The two aspects of question. One, statement of fact. Those who are not aiming at you as the goal, then they have something else as a goal that's called as desire. To fulfill those desire, they do karma. Depending on the karma done, they get the higher or lower worlds, higher and lower upadhis, and higher and lower of sukha and dukkha. Now, this whole thing, that mama akya hi govinda. Why? Durvibhavyam anatmami. We are so anatmas. We are so thick in our heads and so diluted in our intellects. We are not able to not only understand it, but anywhere more than understanding. What is required is conviction. We are not convinced fully about it. That desire, that let me stop all this papa punya karma, which is taking me to this and that world like the giant wheel. ऊपर से नीचे को, नीचे से ऊपर को आना जाना पड़ता है. आई वॉन्ट टू गेट रिड ऑफ दैट कन्विक्शन नहीं आया तो क्या फायदा उसका. So we here and there are listening and studying, but the entire system itself is wrong. Of this doing karma, getting phala, to enjoy that, going different deha. There's something beyond this, greater than this, permanent and infinite. Let me seek. That type of conviction is not arising in us because we are all anatmas. Anatma bihi means identify with the anatma of the upadhi. देखो सबके बारे में उद्धव जी कह रहे हैं. इट इज ऑल लागू टू ऑल ऑफ अस आल्सो, वैलिड टू ऑल ऑफ अस. When did we sit and contemplate and discover our dissociation with the upadhis? At least at the intellectual understanding level, forget about conviction level. After the conviction only, know that we will reject the upadhis identity by rejecting all their demands. He only become yogi, he only become muni, mauni, he only become tapasvi. Where is the yogi in me? Where is the muni in me? Where is the tapasvi in me? Yeah, just enjoying and between time pass we are coming to class also. Why? Anatmavi. And it is Anatmavi is a fact told that such a deep root level, you as a jiva are identify the upadhi only. पक्का. अब वहां से हमको खोद कर निकालना है. Is it not? That's the sadhana otherwise in general. But here Arjuna says, we are all identified with Atma so much that Durvibhavyam, we are not able to easily grasp what you say. And we all at such a level, same thing even 100 times said, it is fresh only to us, new only to us. It is not even registering in us. After registering it, know that you note it. Like कोई लेटर आया घर में, पहले you register it कि कोई लेटर आया, then you open it and see. अब सारा ढाक आ रहा है, उधर भेज ही दे रहे हो आप, खोलोगे ही नहीं. In some houses they subscribe for 10 magazines. They all come, they don't even open the cover, उसको ऐसे कवर डाल के भेज देते. Ours is like that only. We listen all, but never opened it. If you don't open, then how can you work on that? उस लेटर में क्या है, उस किताब में क्या है, कैसे पता चलेगा बाबा? This is called the meaning of anatmavihi. And what is the reason for it? Again, we are saying we have given so much value, importance in the world that we can't live without worldly thought, worldly planning, worldly action, even for a moment. Like that every day, like that throughout life, like that so many lives. खरी जा रहे, इसी में फंसी जा रहे, तो हमको समझ में नहीं आ रहा. Now you feel the beauty of the question and subsequently the answer. That when you tell us this way about the gati of the jivas, depending on their sat or duskarma into sad yoni and dushta yoni, first of all we rectify ourselves from entering to dushta yoni and entering only to the sad yoni. पहले वो हम करेंगे कुछ जन्म. That much is of initial achievement. Later on, even this getting udupadis and getting bhautika ananda sukha also are not permanent. Permanent is only atma ananda, brahma ananda, atma parijnanamaya. That will come at that time. पहले तो हमको क्लियरली बताओ कि कैसे जीव एक देह से दूसरे देह से जा रहे. Now, उसमें भी क्या है? When this is told, some beautiful things will happen in us. What is that? First of all, we understand my stay in this body is not permanent. So to everybody's. Then we understand how far we have to deal with each other, relate with each other, attach with each other. Along with that, when the goal is परमात्मा, तब जाकर अकल खुलेगा जब हम समझते हैं कि we should not get attached to anyone. More difficult, dangerous than it is allowing others to get attached to you. Remember, even little sankalpa thought you do in this universe, unfortunately, it is fulfilled. For that, you have to be born again. लाइक आपको लगा देखो हम और स्वामी जी मिलकर एक घूमने जाए फॉर यूर संकल्प सेक आई हैव टू लीव माई रियलाइजेशन एंड जाना पड़ेगा उस जगह जहां आप घूमना चाहते हो मेरे साथ दैट मच डेंजर आर दिस संकल्पास इन द यूनिवर्स डू अंडरस्टैंड इट then to that extent the postponement is done for the self is it not so how many attachments how many sankalpas every moment we are doing ये सब छूट जाते हैं if we understand both the things. First thing is what? Nobody is permanent in this deha, nor even in this desha, nor even in this loka. He is going on going according to his karma phala. Karma and karma phala. Second is what? Any number of even good karmas you do, even you go to Indra Chandra Loka and become Indra and Brahma, they are also jivas. Of course, with the highly sophisticated, developed upadhis. But they are also conditioned only. They are only small. Like an officer is a head of that entire office, he feels. But ऐसे हजारों office है. You go to CGO complex in Delhi. How many are there? Each one means my section office. ऐसे हजारों section है मतलब. So to one Brahma, one Brahmanda, one Indra log. क्या बात कर रहे हो? It's like I told you the other day. They are nothing. Beyond greater than all of that is Atmanubhuti, Brahmanubhuti. Seek that. So when you listen to these things, like I told you now, even Brahmaloka also is Jiva Bhava, but a higher evolved Jiva. Probability is more in them to recognize Brahma Tattva, but not compulsory or necessary. If that Brahma looks down and gets tempted by anything, he may come down also again. Though it rarely happens, but there's a opportunity is there. There's a possibility is there. When you listen to this, then not only this life's desires, but the desires for any other also get shaken in us. One time it may not, but 100 times when you listen, they are shaken. Then slowly, our Shubhecha, which was said in the earlier sloka, Paratma Dhyamataha, will be risen in us. The Shubhecha will come. देखो याद रखो कितना भी आप जीव के तरह जीवो देह से तादाद में करके लिव इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ ऑल सुख होगा yet deep in the core of the heart I have to rise above all these limitations. I must discover my own inner self or the truth reality. If that is strengthened, it will take care of the rest. With all the spiritual so-called sadhanas done, even at the intellectual level, by withdrawing from the entire world like a yogi sannyasi. But if your desire for the Paramatma is not there, you will not reach him. Some desire must be there. Therefore, instead of Paramatma, you will have some other desire. All the sadhanas will give you all siddhis. You may go into Brahmaloka, Indraloka, but we will not know the truth. These are the intricate things. They are hidden behind these mantras of what Krishna, before departing, is teaching through Uddhava to all of us. That's why, as I said, this 11th skandha itself is so great, divine, sublime, and exhaustive, in that each of the chapter unique, in that each of the topics are so sublime. And the same slokas, when a Mahayogi, Mahagnani, a visionary with a lot of subtlety, when he explains and interprets, उसका level और जो मैं कह रहा हूँ इससे 1000 गुना बड़ा होगा. I am telling you with my understanding and my vocabulary. With zero sadhana and zero experience. But the one who has done the sadhana and experience, when he speaks, like on this portion, when Gurudev speaks, more spashta with his anubhava backing, more inspiring. So whether Gurudev is speaking so great or I am speaking like this, these are all, though there's tarathamya, but basic is our Bhagavata is so great. Krishna Bhagavan's Upadesha is so great. The human being's possibility is so great that jivas to evolve. ये समझ लो बस. हो गया. उद्धव वाचा, he said, please tell तन मम आख्या ही गोविंद दुर्विभाव्य मनात्मभिः नहीं एतत् प्रायशः लोके विद्वांसः सन्ति. There are very rare people who know all these and are perfect in knowing and are ready to explain to us. That's what I said in the beginning. We have every type of guru, not the Brahma Jnana giving guru. Even we have Shastra Jnana giving guru. Is it not? धर्म उपदेशक गुरु, सनातन धर्म का बचाओ रक्षा करो, शास्त्रों का प्रचार करो, अपने संस्कृति को खड़ा करो. No, all of them are so beautiful, wonderful, but they are not as ultimate as that guru's teaching who say, give up everything, sarvam tyaktva harim bhajet, just discover your own self. Not only that, this Spashta Roop say telling us about the transmigration of the jiva. People are, the gurus are not there. That's what he says. Nahi etat prayasha loke vidvamsaha santi. There are no vidvamsa who know thoroughly about these things. Why do they do? Why they are not vanchitaha? Like we, the avidvamsas, are vanchita in our worldliness. They are also vanchita at a conceptual level or at the level of knowledge and practice of many other yoga vidyas which fetch so many things, but not the mukti. That's why you see in the TV, mein, especially in the South India, how many vaktas come. Each one is so beautiful, so wonderful. And whatever they say is absolutely true. They're all Shastrokta only. And they tell it honestly only. Some of them even practiced. As regard that is full, pura 100% perfect. In that all perfection, what one imperfection is there, what? They are not telling about ultimate truth. If they start telling, nobody comes to them, like my classes. कोई आएगा नहीं. When I start doing, whereas yoga siddhi, ऐसे करे के, you learn, when I start this dukan, how many people will come? You understand? Many will join with that. How to instantaneously remove your, the samsara problem, this problem, मतलब your own लड़ाई झगड़ा with all that. तुरंत नौकरी कैसे दिलाएं? ज्योतिष में ये बताया. People come. But that's not for Shastra. That they are there people to say. We are not for that. मैं कुछ जानूं या नहीं परमात्मा को, आपको मैं समझा पा रहा हूं कि नहीं, लेकिन हम तो इसको नहीं छोड़ेंगे. You directly ask me, Swami, you realize? I said, not at all. I am at LKG level. There's no doubt about it. But we believe in it. We pursue this only. So, in Uddhava's complaint or feeling, I am also included. Okay? There is a Swami who speaks on that, but he doesn't know anything experientially. That is what he says, rarity. Nahi etat prayasha loke vidvamsa santi. इस चीज को जानने वाले विद्वांस लोक में नहीं है, बिकॉज दे आर ऑल वंचिताः, all of them are vanchita. Do you remember morning yesterday I quoted a sloka? Maya will not spare even the Maha Vidvamsas. In fact, it will catch those Maha Vidvamsa more than us. I tell you, that is the example I am giving you thousands of times. The life in spiritual life, the sadhana spiritual life is like the snake and ladder game. Anywhere there is a temptation in the form of snake which can pull us down. There will be temptation, there will be threatening, there will be frightening things. There are some big obstacles, hurdles. कहाँ से आते हैं, क्यों लगाते हैं, कौन लगाते हैं, पता ही नहीं. In this vast universe, millions of Shaktis are working to help the good positive also and to obstruct the good positive also. Shreyamsi Bahuvignani, Vignani, not one or two, Bahuvigna. I tell you, as I told you earlier, at one stage of your spiritual evolution, when you think everything is good, I'm doing sadhana, I have transcended my deha tadatmya, I am understanding that I am a concept called jiva, and I am just withdrawing from jiva bhava also, trying to become sakshi. You आपको लग रहा है मिलेगा suddenly उस समय, like from 99 number, you get into a snake's mouth and you will come down. At that moment, suddenly the Brahma, Indra, Devata, Varuna, they all come. They start doing praise to you. तुम ही सब कुछ को, तुम ही ये हो, तुमको हम हमारे ब्रह्मलोक में सीट देते हैं. अब आइए. you feel that ये सब मुझे नहीं चाहिए, मुझे परब्रह्म को पाना है, then they become angry and say, they show us all our flashback. In that flashback, in some janma, in some time, you have desired for that. वो लोग कहते हैं, जैसे कोई ना ऑर्डर देते हैं ना होटल में, वो जबरदस्ती क्या है, आपको लेना ही पड़ेगा, आप आधा तो पैसे भरो, नहीं तो घर पे आके ले जाओ. बट once orders placed are not returned, not cancelled. They show the list of all the things. Those devatas who came lovingly, they become angry. तुमने डिमांड किया, तुमको इंद्रलोक में जाना ही है, तुमने संकल्प किया कि इंद्र से क्या बैठकर तुम्हें डांस ड्रामा देखने का संकल्प हुआ, तुमको जाना ही पड़ेगा. See, when you do papa, the Yamadutas pull us taking to Naraka with all the pain. Is it not? आप जितना भी खींचातानी करो, they don't leave you. In the same way, when you do any sankalpa or the desire, even though right now you don't deserve, but through the sadhana, when you are become purified, you become deserving for that. Then all those backlog desires, which the devatas are denying to fulfill you because you are undeserving, when you deserve now, they make it a compulsory. आपको जाना ही पड़ेगा. Then it goes on delaying the sadhana. I'm telling you how some of the vignas come. Like that, so much is there. How much we can explain. Not to be frightened. All of that is said only how intense we have to become in our desire only to know Paramatma, only to reach the truth. That's the one. Else, everybody who are in the higher worlds were like us only one day or the other. In their path, they also aimed at Paramatma, but in between, something other enchanting came up, then they left it and then they are in that. बट देखो, जिनके अंदर परमात्मा को पाने की बहुत इच्छा होती है, with every this difficulty or even temptation, when it intensifies his icha, again remember that Ishvara Krupa is there, it will protect us. It will take us. Guru Krupa, Ishvara Krupa. Both of them are one and same. Guru only Ishvara, Ishvara only is Guru. That's why right from the day one, these three things we have to do. Desire only for Paramatma. Second, keep on worshipping and praying to the Lord, and keep on worshipping and praying and dedicated surrender to the Guru. Guru is Guru Tattva, and in your own selected Rupa. These are the only two things you will protect when you are en route to your chosen goal of Paramatma. First of all, goal Paramatma hona hai. उसके लक्ष्य में, गोल में, बाकी सब डिजायर छोड़ देना है. Even if future desire you may give up, past whatever you have entertained, all karmas you have done, संचित है, वो फिर पीछे पड़ेंगे. But this Guru and God will keep on empowering us, pushing us, enlivening us. They see to it that the biggest problems or biggest temptations don't come to him such that he is not going away from track. That's called grace of God and Guru. वो हमको गिरने से बचाते रहते हैं. At every level. If you are yoga sadhana you are doing, उसमें गिरने के अवकाश बहुत मौकाएं हैं, वहां से they protect us. If you are doing Vedanta sadhana, there are a lot of places where you will fall, they protect us from there. If you are in karma yoga, everywhere Guru Bhagavan, they are always with us, they are within us. If that way, if you invoke them, then they won't be seen, but they keep on. Like in you and my case especially. From last 2 years, regularly we are doing class. Who is protecting my throat every day 6 hours from 2 years? Is it not Guru silently doing that kripa? Who is making all the connection, though little disturbance hota hai, unhi ki kripa hai. Health, who is maintaining us? 2 years doing class without break is not an ordinary thing. Health can बिगड़ सकता है, mind can be बिगड़ो, any other plan can come to go somewhere or the other. It's not your and my plan. हम नहीं कर सकते. It's not only नहीं कर सकते, हम सोच भी नहीं सकते उसका. It is their grace. You can feel the grace of Gurudev and God in our life in this way. They did not appear pratyaksha रूपेण. क्या जरूरत है प्रत्यक्ष आने का? For my sake, the Lord Gurudev should come again in the flesh and blood and have that BP and sugar. पागल है? That stage we have to transcend. We know Guru is there in us. आत्म रूप में गुरु है, परमात्मा रूप में गुरु है, सूक्ष्म रूप में गुरु है. Anyway, that's a total different subject, but that helps us by the way. Now, Bhagavan Vacha, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. See the answers from here. What a beautiful thing. Manah karma mayam dronam indriyai vanchaviryotam lokat lokam prayati anya atma tadanuvartate. Very careful. This is called again Utkramantam Siddham Vapi Bunjanva Gunanvitam, the fifth chapter, 15th chapter of Gita ki Tara. First answer of the Lord. Now, question is understood how the jiva go from one body to the other. That is the basic thing. Here he is explaining the thesis. The more you understand it, then that you become firm in this clarity, then you know what to do, what not to do. And you also know why the Shastra said to do this, not to do this. शास्त्र का क्या करना क्या नहीं करना याद रखो, देहेंद्रिय मनोबुद्धि के दृष्टि से नहीं. देर ऑल जड़. Shastras, all do's and don'ts are for the jiva who is behind all these and for his progress. His progress is to reject these upadhis and reach the self. Sadhanas are not to the deha. Sadhanas is not to the mana. Sadhana is not to the intellect. Deha, mana, intellect are used by me, the jiva, to do my sadhana, to reject them or reject out of them, reach to the self. How we are at such a gross level. All our sadhanas are only at the upadhi level. They have not reached to our level only. The जीव तक पहुंचे नहीं हमारे साधना है, सिर्फ देह मन में ही है अभी भी. They're struggling only at the mind level. But that takes lot of lives even to reach to the jiva level, where the mind is doing its ordinary duty outside, but inside the jiva is doing his sadhana. Like my mind is speaking to you, but the jiva in me is doing his sadhana. That ability I have to develop. I do this work outside because of clearing some debts and time pass. Man ko kuch chahiye kam. That speaking lecture with the mind is not sadhana. Sadhana is something internal, subjective, personal, inexplicable. Anyway, see, manaha, karmamayam, nrunam. The mind, who is the one, the doer of karma, you naturally will have to get the experiences. Indriyahi panchabhihi yutam, along with the panchagnanendriyas, lokat lokam prayati. From one world to the other world, one deha to other deha it goes. Anyaha atma tadanu artate. The jiva is actually other than the mana, but because the jiva identified with the mana, he also goes with. And Paramatma is anyway everywhere there. So he is helpless but to enliven the jiva as well as the mana. This is a high level of sadhana. देखो मैं आप थोड़ा 2 मिनट में ही कंफ्यूज करके विल स्टॉप क्लास टू एंटर इनटू रामायण. Everything is done by Paramatma, everything is done by Ishvara, everything is done by Jiva, everything is done by Mana. How can four are doing? Reverse dekho. Paramatma is doing nothing, Ishvara is doing nothing, Jiva need not do anything, Mana is Jada, how can it do anything? When we sort out these two paradoxes or contradictions, we are understanding Vedanta. इनमें से Parabrahma, Paramatma is not doing anything because he need not, he is in Ananda Swarupa. Ishvara is not doing anything because to do anything there should be a purpose, a desire or a limitation. Ishvara is infinite, no? How can he have any desire or purpose? Therefore, though he is doing creation and all that, he is not a doer. Therefore, he is not bound. Who is doing it? Jiva is doing. Why is he doing? Because of Sankalpa Vasanas. But Jiva also is not doing. He cannot do because he is a pseudo entity. He is only Mithya. Then with what he has to do to Indriya Mana only. Therefore, who is the actual doer? The Mana only. Therefore, what is spiritual sadhana? Jiva become one with Brahma. What to do? Either tell the works are done by the Mana and leave it to that. Or tell that the works or karma are done by the Ishvara and leave it to him. In both cases, I am not the karta. When you do the sadhana more and more, the jiva bhava in me goes away. Because as long as you are jiva, you have vasanas, you have to do the karma. How it all gets rid of when I know the mind. That's a nahang karomi manyuk karoti, nahang karta manyuk karta, nahang karayita manyuk karayita, yeshate manye manavo swaha, nahang karomi kamak karoti, nahang karta kamak karta, nahang karayita kamak karayita, yeshate kamak kamaya swaha. Manurakarshi Namo Namaha. These are all Maha mantras. They are real. Each of the mantra you have to study thoroughly, deeply. In the same way, in the Telugu class morning, we have seen in Sarupa Anusandhana Ashtakam, he is not doing, all are doing, he is imagining, he is doing. So, this shloka's essence is what? The mind is the karta, therefore will have to be the bhokta. He goes with indriyas to the other world. But the karma of the mana and indriyas is owned by the jiva. Therefore, helplessly, jiva also is going with them. Wherever and everywhere the Atma is there, therefore Atma will have to eliminate the Jiva's Jiva Bhava as also the mind's Sankalpa Vikalpa Karma Indriyas work. This is how it is happening. Loka Lokam Prayati Anyaha Atma Tadanu Vartate. Then how the karma is done by the mind? Dhyayan manonu vishayan drushtan vanu shrutanatha udyat sidat karma tantram smriti tadanu shamyati. Remember, mana is jada, it also cannot do karma. And what purpose is there for the mind to do? But I am doing with mana. But if unless I tell that mana is doing, I will not withdraw from it. This is a prakriya explained for us to withdraw from the mind its deeds so that I withdraw myself from transmigration and I reach to the Lord. ये सब प्रक्रिया है, इसमें कोई भी अल्टीमेट ट्रुथ नहीं है, झूठ नहीं है. ये सब प्रक्रिया means a process to reach you to some place. Like sitting in a car is a prakriya to go there. Sitting in the car is not a goal. Because it is not only through car you reach. You can go by walk, by scooter, by lorry, by truck. और उसमें भी पैदल भी जा सकते हैं, लुढ़कते जा सकते हैं, दौड़ के भी जा सकते हैं. One of the many is car. That's only prakriya. In the same way, this explanation that the mind is doing this way doing is only prakriya. Ultimately, neither the mind is doing, nor the jiva is doing, nor the Paramatma is doing. Actually, we are all in the Bhranti. जगत है ये भी भ्रांति है, जगत सत्य है ये भी भ्रांति है, जगत में सुख है वो भी भ्रांति है, जगत मुझे चाहिए वो भी भ्रांति है, और वो इस ये काम करने से जगत मिलेगा ये भी भ्रांति है. करना भी भ्रांति है, फल भी भ्रांति है. Like in dream, you wanted to have a tea, so you went to kitchen, you light the stove, you put the patila, you added all that and you had a coffee. You said it's very good also, tea or coffee. सब भ्रांति है जब जागृत हो जाओगे तो. Karta, karma, karma phala, bhoga, from that sukha, dukkha, all of the dream are unreal. ठीक है, और थोड़ा इसमें सूक्ष्म बातें हैं, लिटिल बाय लिटिल जितना हमसे हो सका उतना हम समझेंगे. थैंक यू. सर्वम कृष्णार्पणम. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदम पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति. कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय. टुडे लेट अस अटेंड इन वाल्मीकि रामायणम श्री राम पट्टाभिषेकम बिगिनिंग.